What do you want? I'm in the middle of a podcast. Leave me alone.
This guy who really is, I think, a bad guy. Russell, I think you are a bad guy.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what the truth.
I don't want him knowing where I live.
You can hate Russell, but one thing you cannot take from Russell is his ability to play that game.
I ain't finished playing just yet.
Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. We're going to be talking about something that I've always wondered about, and it's the loved ones visit. I have my brother here with me. You might know him from Flipped Off on A&E with me, and we're going to talk about how the whole process goes from the beginning to the end. Shawn, when was the first time that you knew that something was happening, that you knew that you was about to fly out to where was Brandon?
Samoa.
So
Producers called me. They said, hey, we need you to get on a plane and fly over here. Brandon's doing pretty well, and we've got about 12 other contestants, loved ones that will be joining you. So I got on a plane and I flew to California, and then we flew to Samoa. And when I got on the plane from California, I met with the other loved ones, so it was kind of, they didn't know who I was, I didn't know who they were.
Okay, to make it clear, when Brandon played the first time, it was supposed to never happen where actual family member played Survivor. So they made an exception with Brandon, I guess because of the Hantz name. Then all of a sudden he's on Survivor. So they had no idea that you were the father of Brandon Hantz when you, or did y'all all discuss it? Okay, I'm Shawn Hantz, or did they tell you to be quiet? What happened with all that?
Well, so the thing was that we weren't supposed to discuss who we were or who our loved ones were. So everything was hid. And, but the funny thing of it is, right when I got to the airport in LA, they basically told me, they said, look, everyone was staring at me. I was like, what the hell's going on? I mean, it's like, why is everyone staring at me? Well, they recognized me. I mean, they recognized Russell when they see me. I could tell something was up. It was getting strange. It was almost like the game had started for me as a loved one, because no one knew who Brandon was. They just knew who Russell was. So they had their suspicion a little bit. So that's kind of how it started off.
So this was in LA when you actually met the cast for the first time. Not the cast, when you first seen the loved ones. This was in LA, right?
So we were in LA. Everyone was together. We had a layover. I think it was about 7 or 8 hours. So we just were there, and I was there with about 12 of the loved ones. I didn't know who anyone was at this point.
So you seen them though, everybody?
Yeah, I seen them, and a couple of people in particular were looking at me and like whispering, and we were trying to guess at this point because nobody even knew anything at this point, and everyone's trying to figure out who's out there and who's still left.
Okay, to make it clear, who was actually with Shawn, and which makes this a great episode with Loved Ones Visit, because it's not the regular Loved Ones Visit. It's Shawn Hantz, and it's Brandon Hantz and Russell Hantz. So the production is trying to fool the people, because that's the whole reason they don't want anybody to know anything, because you're out there. Did they specifically tell you, Shawn, do not say anything? Like, what did they tell you? What did production tell you?
So production came to me and they were like, okay, we need you to really be quiet. We need you to just stay down low. Don't make a scene. Try to, don't have conversations with people, because they were scared. The point of it was, you didn't want to know who was left, because when we met our loved one, we didn't want to be bashing the other one's loved one. That would hurt our loved one that was left in the game. We could tell them negative things about that other one. So that's kind of
okay. So when y'all all flew together to where was it? Samoa?
Yeah, Samoa.
It was in Samoa. Okay. So the loved ones that were there, or who were there? Like, what? We might not know all their names, but we know, like, for instance, Sophie's sister.
Yeah.
We know that. We try to look for a name.
So It was Rick. Rick's loved one was there.
I don't remember
No one
Rick.
knew this at the time, who their loved one was. So at that time, it was Sophie's dad, and it was, let's see, Coach's brother.
Which his
Ozzy
name?
was out there still. I don't know who his loved one was, to be
Ozzy?
honest. It was Albert. Albert's mother was there. Who else?
Coach brother.
Whitney was out there with her
Whitney's husband.
boyfriend.
Oh, okay. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Get closer. I can't hear you.
So when it was a couple of others, you see what was happening. They told us that the way it happens, they bring about 12 of the family members, and as your loved one goes home, then they will send you home.
Yeah, so they all, a lot of people know this. Super fans may know it. A lot of fans may know it. But what they do is there's always one loved one, one visit that gets sent home packing without actually going into the game and doing their little thing, because that person usually gets voted out during the time of the process of the loved ones going flying down there and all that. So usually you have one. Sometimes you have two loved ones visits that head straight back to the house. They don't sit around long, do they? They head back.
No, when your loved one goes home, you go home. They pack. You're packing. You're treated. We were treated like kings and queens
until
your loved one goes home, and then you're bon voyage.
Yeah. Okay. So now we got the process of what was it when you went to Samoa? How long did y'all stay in the? Was it Ponderosa? Where did y'all stay?
So we went to a exclusive resort, the nicest in Samoa. Period.
Mm-hmm, I believe that.
So CBS takes care of them. Trust me, and they pretty much put us up there. We were there for about 2 weeks. So during these 2 weeks, they would send us on excursions where we were actually like.
Wait, you was there for 2 weeks?
I was there for 2 weeks because I got to see Brandon. Some of them weren't there for 2 weeks. They had
2
cuts.
weeks.
Like they had the first cut,
right,
second cut, and then those who were left got to see their loved one.
Oh, so y'all had like 3 people went home before?
Yeah, they're like they.
So
first,
so you're having dinner with these loved ones for 2 weeks?
Yeah, and some of them I didn't care for too much.
And they're trying to get your information. Did they know who you? They had to know who you were. They thought I was out there, didn't they?
No, they did think Russell was out there. Actually, some of them did. Because you got to remember, they didn't know Brandon, who he was. This is Brandon's first time playing. So at this point, it was kind of like, okay, all the loved ones that were there initially, they started guessing who everyone was, and it got crazy. I'm telling you, there were fights. There were arguments. We were all together.
So y'all got in arguments at the table, like dinner table arguments?
We had set up. We had our own little, tribes, kind of like that we were getting close to, and people would just automatically attach to certain people, and then we kind of stayed together. So it was kind of like this tribe against that loved one's tribe. And
it was like game on when you was out there.
It was intense because.
Damn.
I could tell you about a few of the names. I don't want to disrespect anyone's loved one or anybody, but the reality is.
No, we're gonna disrespect. We're gonna say what happened. We got to say what happened. This isn't about disrespecting. It's about telling the truth. The truth will set you free, Shawn.
Yeah. So anyway, we were out there a few days, and then people started calling me out because they thought
I was
no proof. They thought they knew who I was just because of our similarities.
They thought that Russell Hantz was out on the island.
Yeah, they thought they were going to go out there and Russell was going to be out there.
Psych.
So anyway, they were looking at me. I'll say who it was. It was one in particular that I had a lot of problems with, and this might strike you as weird, but John Cochran. That sweet young man that he is, he has a mother that bore him. But I'm
not really going to say that she's that, because I want to talk about mamas, John Cochran, your mama jokes. No. But anyway, yeah, So John Cochran's mama came at you like that? She was like,
Yeah, she was like, basically, she didn't know who I was, but she's trying to figure it out. All the time, she was stirring crap the whole time we were there. Her name is Arlene. I mean, and Arlene would just basically be, pushing my buttons, trying to get a rise out of me. And we'd play some games and stuff like that. And while they were out there,
so did she come straight up to you and say, Miss Arlene Cochran, did she come up to you and say, I know who you are, son, and I know who's out there. You ain't gonna mess with my boys' game. I mean, was it like that?
Oh, it was like that. It was like that. She was like Mama Hen right there, buddy.
Mama Hen. So it's not, hey, yeah, I play around when I use the biatch word, but we don't really know. She could be, she's trying to take care of her son.
Hey, I'm not going to disrespect anybody and call them that, but I'm telling you, she was very disrespectful to me out there.
So she was disrespectful to you. Like how though? Give me an example. Was it just how she looking at you?
No, she would be, I was like, what do you want? I know who you are. I know who you are. I'm like, you don't know me, and I'm not who you think I am. But I was, in fact.
But not who she thought.
But she had no right to hit, just come at me all crazy. So it was really like we were playing the game before we even seen our loved ones. And you didn't want to do anything. You got to remember, you didn't want to do anything to hurt your loved one's chance to advance in the game.
Yeah. So who did you connect with at that group?
So I connected with my boy Donnie Fallgate.
Donnie, what's up, Donnie? He's a country singer now. We tagged Donnie. He was also on
Sweet Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama.
After the fact.
After the fact. But we're about to tell you.
Okay.
This is some juiciness.
All right. So me and Donnie just clicked from the first day. He was my boy all the way through the 2 weeks. And I was just praying the whole time.
He was out there for who?
He was out there for Whitney Duncan. He was the boyfriend of Whitney Duncan.
This is what you're saying as you known it when you was with him. That was the boyfriend.
Well, I just want to say at this point in time when we were out there was lots of other women there that were on vacation. So I was doing my thing at that point.
You were single.
I was single, ready to mingle. I mean, I was still married, but single.
No, was you divorced?
Not yet.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
So it was before my divorce, but
single.
But yeah, in my mind, I was single. So
right, right. I know the feeling. I've been there.
So anyway, I was out there, and there were lots of pretty, people from that part of the world that were out there. So I was like, "Come on, Donnie, come on, boy,
Donnie, what's up?" Okay.
So anyway,
yeah, hell yeah, you got your boy out there. You want to hook up? What was he telling you?
So Donnie was like, "No, Shawn, I'm not.
I don't roll like that."
Back in the days, I was a player, but I found this one girl. She stole my heart.
Are you just telling me this? Is this what words that he was using?
No, this is for real. This is no joking. This is legit. So it would making me sick a little bit because I was thinking, dang, you always need a wingman.
Yeah, need a wingman.
So anyway, Donnie was that to me, but he was like, look, Shawn, I'm not going to do anything because I'm so in love with Whitney that I can't even hardly think straight.
My girl's up there.
So he was like, I'm going to pick up this little rock right here because it looks like a heart.
Yeah.
And he was like telling me everything that he was going to do basically when
like a little heart rock.
Yeah, a little heart rock.
Love.
Yeah,
true
from
love.
Samoa, special place. So he got out there and there was, all kind of rocks. He picked up a couple of rocks that looked like hearts. And then he was like, this is what I'm going to do. He broke to a knee.
He broke to a knee?
And he's like.
He broke to a knee, really?
He's like, and he showed me a ring.
Oh, he had a what?
He had a ring.
Like a wedding ring?
Yes.
Oh.
He said, I'm going to get to a knee when I go out on the family visit, and I'm going to give this to her and ask her to marry me.
Bam. Yes. Okay, so he's in love. We have a guy, Donnie, he's in love. He's finding rocks on the beach. The things that we do, we have that soulmate, that true love. Okay?
Yeah, so this was really rolling like this, and I was just kind of bummed out because he wasn't hanging with me.
And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go straight through it with him, with this, and then we're gonna probably back up a little bit with some other loved ones. But right here, this is such an interesting story. We're gonna go ahead and go straight through this.
Okay, so anyway, Mr. Donnie, my boy, we were out there, and just everything is so beautiful. Even in Hawaii, we went to Hawaii. I forgot to tell you that.
You went to Hawaii?
We went to Hawaii and stayed there a day before we got
Wow.
to go. This guy was like,
you
hey,
sitting there-
this is a good-looking guy. This is not
Yeah.
just a regular Joe Schmo. This guy can pull women. And he wasn't wanting to have none of it. Kudos to him at this point in time that he was being so diligent and faithful to
Right.
her. But Whitney, in all this time,
Wait, so he's there for Whitney.
yeah. So I tell Brandon,
While this is going, oh wait, okay. I thought he was sending him because Whitney, I thought
No.
didn't make the loved ones visit,
Whitney did not make the loved ones visit. But when I get to Brandon, okay,
but they didn't send him straight home. I'm getting confused.
no, they sent him home 2 days before we go out there. Whitney goes home. Okay.
Okay.
So I get out there to Brandon. I'm telling him about Donnie and how close we got. And
Well, now you're on the phone with him at home.
no, I'm out there on the island with
See,
Brandon.
wait, this is what I'm getting confused with, because you said they send them straight home after
do.
they get voted out. Well, Whitney got voted out. You went
Right.
out on the island. You
Yeah.
talked to Brandon.
Yeah.
And then when you got back, he was still there, where you could talk to him.
Yeah,
Donnie.
no. He wasn't there any longer. But I got to talk to Donnie on the phone after
Okay,
this.
so this was on the phone. So now we go on the island. Donnie has to go home. He's home because he didn't make the cut because Whitney got voted out. So when Shawn gets on the island, he talks to Brandon, and with Brandon.
Well, God works in mysterious ways. Thank God that Donnie didn't get on a knee.
I wish he would have.
Oh, that would have been epic. But,
Because of why? Tell us what happened.
well, what happened was when I get out there, Brandon says, I said, man, I got this. My boy, he just missed being out here with me. His name is Donnie Folgate. I said, and his fiance's out here. He's like, who's his fiance, Dad? I'm like, Whitney Duncan is his fiance. And he's like, yeah, she's real pretty, but Dad, that's not his fiance. He's like confused.
I'm getting confused because his ain't fiance. He's asking her to marry. We're confusing the guest now.
No. No, it's his girlfriend, but he's going to get on a
Okay.
knee. They are planning to marry.
So Brandon didn't say fiance. He said that's my.
Yeah,
Okay.
my bad. Okay,
Okay.
so he said, Whitney's out here, and I was telling Brandon who Donnie was in relation to Whitney, and that was his, girlfriend or whatnot, and he was going to propose to her. He's like shaking his head. He's like, Dad, you don't understand. He's like, there's this girl Whitney, and she's got a boyfriend Keith, and they've been knocking it out every chance they get in the woods.
Like breaking it down, like
In a nasty way, in a dirty way, literally.
So now Whitney is with. So, look, I read articles on this, and I heard, and I'm gonna go straight up and say this. Whitney said that it wasn't like that. She said that she tried to say that they tried to spin it a different way. She wasn't cheating on her boyfriend or whatever. At this point, this is what we know. So he wasn't cheating on nobody, but that was Whitney's loved one visit. So what the hell is she talking about? Yeah, it's easy to say, I was married, but we're separated, and nobody would ever know anything. But that was Whitney's loved one's visit. So she chose him as a loved one's visit.
Well, I know he might be insignificant, but Keith Tolfinson is the guy that
Keith. Yeah, it was Keith and Whitney.
Keith and Whitney were getting it on.
Getting
out
it
there.
on. And not in
In a nasty
positive
way.
way.
Yeah.
A nasty way. So, okay, now we know. She's cheating on her boyfriend, right?
Yeah, she's cheating on her boyfriend.
That's what you're thinking at this point.
Yeah, so this was after the fact. I'm on my way home, and I'm like distraught.
We're breaking it down a little bit. We're going backwards. We can get back into the game a little bit, but we need this whole story.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the whole story so you understand the concept of it. But anyway, I get away, and I think I'm back at LA, and I'm distraught. I'm hurt. Really, I'm hurt because as much as he said about her, I was thinking this girl was
Right.
vagina was gold.
Gold. So it was like, okay, I have to tell him, right?
Yeah,
Is that what
I
you
was
went
going to tell him because we had gotten so close during the whole process, that my heart was breaking. And I couldn't believe someone that you would love that much would do that. Your girlfriend would let you down like that.
So his girlfriend was basically, it breaks it down easy for you guys. Whitney Duncan was cheating on her boyfriend that Shawn thought was her boyfriend with this Keith guy. Why the loved ones visit was looking for rocks and saying poems and memories and rings and one knees and
Pretty
stuff like
sad.
that. He was going to go on an island. He was going to do this for Whitney when she was cheating on him with another guy while she was there, which would have made it epic if he would have went to that island. If he would have went to that island, and then she would have.
It gets better.
Oh, what would Keith have done?
I don't know what he had done, but Brandon said they were in love. So it was a triangle. But
Right. Go
anyway,
ahead.
what happened was I made the call to Donnie. I said, Donnie, I got something I need to talk to you about. Sit down.
Sit down. And
I
you may need to sit
"Look,
down for this.
Dude, I'm so sorry, and I don't even want to tell you this, but Whitney's sleeping with Keith. I know he didn't even know who Keith was.
Who's Keith?
So Whitney's sleeping with Keith. He said, no, Shawn, he said, you don't understand.
No, she's not my.
She's not my girlfriend.
He's
And I was like, okay, good. Then don't worry about it, bro.
Nah, hey, you missed one there.
No, he said, we haven't told anybody, but she's really my wife.
Damn.
So anyway, that's
Yeah,
pretty nasty.
that just happened. So now you're telling me this whole time she was married. Why did he have the ring? I'm confused about that one.
So yeah, that he had
Was
thought
he-
about this. He had thought about that. This was how he wanted the world to know how much he loved her.
Yeah, but why was he giving her a ring? Was it just a symbolic thing because they were married, or why did he do
So
that?
no, he was giving her the ring. It was an engagement ring.
But they were already married.
No, yeah, they were already married, but they didn't tell CBS.
Oh, I see. So they were married, but he was gonna do it.
Yeah. Nobody knew.
Even
Even their parents, from what I
parents
understand,
didn't even know.
Nobody
So
knew.
They did it like
Secretly.
justice of the peace.
Oh yeah, just to not a sidebar here.
Just like
Brandon's married now.
so just like that.
Brandon just got married today.
Nobody knew. I just found out on the way over here. By the way.
Yeah. So just anyway. that's
Side
nice.
note,
Yeah,
Brandon is off the market. Brandon is off the market.
Okay. Just want to let the fans know.
Just in case
Okay.
you were waiting for Brandon.
He's officially give him 3 months. No, just joking. It's gonna make
It's
it.
a lifetime.
He's gonna make it.
It's a lifetime. It's gonna work.
So death do us part.
Okay, so we get back up. That is what it is. So we got a cheater. So
Yeah.
sickening. That's how that went down. Oh, and CBS took Whitney and Keith and put them on Amazing Race.
Yeah.
That's some character, CBS. Good character on that one. Like, yeah,
So-
let's get the two that's cheating and send them on another game show.
Yeah. So Donnie actually, he's a country western artist. Look him up, Donnie Fallgate.
He can sing too.
Yes, he can. Good. A lot of talent.
So okay, that's it. For
Okay.
that. Let's get back to Coach's Peter. Yeah,
Peter.
Coach's brother. Let's go back to when y'all sitting there and you for 2 weeks having dinner and all kind of other stuff. How was he? How was Coach's brother?
So we had filet mignon. I had a few really, really close friends, and one of them was Peter, Coach's brother. Super good guy. He, Coach could learn a few things from him.
Coach doesn't seem like a good guy. He
Coach-
seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish I had a chance at him.
Coach, yeah, he's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. He did the show.
Yeah.
He has the most downloads so far.
Yeah. So no, I'm not saying he's not a popular guy. I'm just saying
Yeah.
he could take lessons from his brother Peter.
So Peter's a good guy.
Yeah,
Who
Peter's
else we
super
have
guy.
here? That
So
older
we got-
guy. What's his name? What's that? See what we got here. We don't know. We don't even know.
Okay.
I guess the rest of
All
them aren't worth
right.
talking
Sophie's
about.
sister.
Oh yeah, tell me about Sophie's sister.
So Sophie's sister was just not even there. I mean,
How is she fun? I mean, was she single?
She was single, but
Okay, so you got a single woman, and you're a single man.
no, I'm not a single man. I was actually still married at this point, just on my way out.
Okay, well, so what I'm saying is you're on an island, for 2 weeks and you're in Hawaii and all these places. She wasn't looking at you in any way or stuff like that?
Yeah, I didn't want none of that though.
Was she looking at you? Did
They
you
were
feel-
all looking at that point.
No, were they looking because you was Russell's brother, or were they looking because she wanted some nasty time?
Yeah, well, not everyone thought I was your brother. Just a few. Arlene Cochran was the leader, and she
Was the gatekeeper.
Yeah, she was kind of pinning everybody against me that was females, not the guys. The guys were cool.
Was somebody saying was Sophie's dad? It wasn't Sophie's dad.
No. Yeah, Sophie's dad was there.
Well, what was the sister on there?
Not Sophie's dad. I'm sorry.
Oh, we got it.
I'm confused.
I'm glad we have this live right now because it's not Sophie's
dad.
sister. We don't even know if Sophie has a sister. Sorry, Sophie.
The Chinese girl.
I don't know if that's racist. You can say that. You talking about?
There,
I
her.
don't think Edna is Chinese.
I don't know. I don't know what
Okay.
she is. Edna's sister.
Okay, so Edna's sister,
Yeah.
not Sophie's sister.
No,
We
Sophie's
apologize.
father.
We're on the wrong page now.
Back it up.
Okay, so it was Sophie's dad.
Yeah, so my bad, guys. It was Sophie's dad, which wrote books. He was a writer of books.
I'm sure glad that we have this live because this would have been Sophie's sister for 200,000 patrons. Well,
Yeah,
not patrons. But,
My
you know.
bad, guys. But anyway, Sophie's dad was
How
like,
was he?
he's
Sophie's
a good
dad?
guy. I mean, he swam. I'm glad I didn't get in the swimming competition with him because that was a beast of a swimmer right there. He would swim in the pool.
Yeah, but they don't do that. They don't do they never have any kind of physical competitions with the loved ones. It would just be like holding something.
Yeah, I would have took Arlene out first.
Take her
one.
to the knees. Take her
Yeah,
to the knees.
would have took her out first. Bam.
Tell
your boy Johnny that.
So you would, if we missed anybody, it doesn't really matter because not worth talking about. So now you're on the island. Okay, you get to the island with the loved ones. Do they what challenge was it?
The challenge was no, it was no challenge. I wish it would have been a challenge, but it was just pick someone that won their challenge got to pick their loved one.
Oh,
and
I
then
see. Yeah.
Pick two other loved ones.
Okay, so now you're standing on the island, and who gets to pick? Who wins?
So-
Who gets to pick?
Okay, so Coach, I don't remember who won, but I know
Okay.
who was there.
All right,
Ozzy was there.
Ozzy.
Coach was there.
Ozzy and who? Who was his loved one? Somebody needs to tell us. We'll go ahead and
I
keep
don't
going
know.
forward.
I
Okay,
can't
so
remember who Ozzy's was.
so Ozzy's loved one, Coach's loved
Coach,
one,
Albert's
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 mom.
mom. She was really nice.
About Albert's mom,
Yeah.
nice woman.
Yeah.
Brandon's dad, which you, Edna,
Edna.
which is her sister, was there,
I think so.
Sophie.
Sophie's dad.
and Cochran.
And his.
That's a lot of loved ones. Rick.
Yeah, but they didn't all get to stay.
Yeah, but which ones won the challenge?
Okay.
Who we have now? We're on the island.
Albert's mom was
Albert's
there.
mom,
Coach's brother.
Coach's brother,
Who else?
Brandon,
Brandon and
Cochran.
no, Cochran's mom.
Oh, he
get
didn't
to
make
stay.
it. Okay, good. That's a good thing. Huh?
Yeah, no, she didn't get to stay. But
Okay.
anyway,
All right. So when you get on the island, do they look at you and say, "Oh, you Brandon's"?
Oh
like,
yeah,
how'd that
okay.
go?
So we went out there, and they bring us all in. They bring all of us. There was about 8 or 9 of us that they were bringing there that didn't go home yet, and they were waiting for that next challenge to send people home. And so they got us there, and they was like, "We have a special guest with us today." And then they said, "This is Russell Hantz's brother, Shawn Hantz," and they went berserk. This is in Russell's High.
Oh, this is before you went out there. They went
No,
ahead.
we were there.
Yeah,
Okay,
get
they
closer.
they sent 4 people home, and there was about 8 people left. And then they told us this, and they were like, "Oh, I knew it." And so that was kind of a big moment. I was like, "Wow, okay."
So they didn't say,
CBS treated me like a king the whole time I was there, like I was the grand poobah.
the grand poobah of the poobah.
So I mean, they were really, and then Okay, so we're at the point, all that's over. I meet with Brandon at this point. I'm there. I make it through that point, that stage. Can I go to this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we're there, and I told Brandon at this time, if you guys watched it, you've seen it. I said, hey, look, there was four or five people left, and they said, hey, look. I said, look, Brandon, dude, you were right there. And Brandon had left the building. Brandon was not physically, no, he was not emotionally. He was physically there.
Could you tell that when you seen Brandon and how he was talking to you, where you were like, Brandon, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it was not Brandon. It was not goofy, silly, cutting up Brandon. It was Brandon was saying, hey, Dad, look, I raised Brandon in a Christian environment. We are a Christian family, and all the, I told him the right things to do and say. And at this point, I'm actually, I'm glad I'm doing this podcast because I have an opportunity to make what I feel was wrong a right, or somewhat. But anyway, I told Brandon, I said, look, Brandon, look, I don't care what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Stop praying. Stop doing all that stuff. You are this close to winning $1 million. All you got to do is get your mind right and move forward. And Brandon was like, but Dad, I'm getting people saved, all this other stuff. And I wasn't living right at that point. And it's no excuse for what I did. But I said, hey, look, if you want to be you could preach the gospel on a street corner. You're out here and it's time to win $1 million. That's what I told him. You guys heard this. You heard me say it. But I should have said, if I could go back out there again, if I could do it all over again, I would say, look, Brandon, don't worry about the money. Your integrity is more important. God is watching. This is your platform. Do what you think is right in the eyes of God. Forget about the money.
A lot of people are going to say, screw your integrity and give me $1 million. A lot, like I can guarantee you 50% or 60, 70% are going to say, you know what? So what? Just win the money.
So I feel I had to go home and deal with my own, what I said, because what I told Brandon at that point was against what I taught Brandon all his life, contrary to that. So I had to fix what I felt was wrong. And it was a horrible mistake. And I asked God and and all the fans to forgive me for saying what was not right.
So I would think that to be the case because you're his father. So your job is to be like, hey, your integrity is more important, son. And a friend or just a fan's job would be, hey, forget integrity, win the money. So I get it from a dad's point of view.
Yeah, so Brandon, producers came to me, and they were telling me stuff all along, like, your son's doing good out there, blah, blah, blah. And they weren't supposed to be. But even at this point, they came to me again. They called me and said, Brandon just won the challenge. After I had that conversation with me, they called me and said, Brandon just won the challenge, and he has a good chance to win the entire thing. And at that point, you see where Brandon
gave his
Bible to Albert, and basically in doing that.
So he didn't follow your advice.
No, so I lost on both sides.
Right.
I lost because I didn't say the right thing, and I knew that, you see, I believe in what you guys call karma. I call sowing and reaping.
Right. So how did you get along with Coach out there on the island? When you were, because I know that even Jeff and them were talking about how you actually started playing the game when you was out there. Was you trying to manipulate Coach or anybody like that on the other side? Did you talk to them any?
So Coach read into it too much. All I told Coach is I just wanted him to embrace Brandon. I seen Brandon needed someone. Coach would have more than likely still won the game. Or
He didn't win.
He didn't win, but he would have had a better chance, I felt, if he would have brought Brandon with him, because people weren't going to vote for Brandon at the end. He wasn't into the game like Coach was. He was just kind of existing, I would call it. But at least he would have finished in the top two. And, Coach didn't take him, and he kind of betrayed him. And I'm a little salty still, because our conversation me and Coach had was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take care of your boy. Oh, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. And then when he got down to it, he knew good and well that was no intent. I wasn't acting like a bully. He said I was acting like a bully. I was just basically saying, hey, man, I don't know, maybe I just come across like that, but I was saying, hey, man, look, Brandon, it's yours. I mean, I've talked to Brandon as his father. I know where he's at in this place, and he's gone. if you all you got to do is tell him, hey, Brandon, go right, he'll go right. Go left, he'll go left. So
I did a podcast with Coach not too long ago, and he seen it more as a father figure type to Brandon while they were on the island, of course. And he told Brandon not to play that idol, not to give away his idol. He told him. So in a game perspective, when he gave away the idol, did Coach have any other option but to vote Brandon off? I mean, Brandon just handed his game away when he did that, in my perspective.
well, yeah, you would say that, but look at the outcome. So there's your answer.
Why? Because he didn't win?
Because he didn't win the game.
Yeah, maybe if he would have kept Brandon, it would have made it easier for him. I don't know if he would have beat Brandon. I mean, I guess we can speculate, but nobody knows if Brandon would have won that game or not.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, that's for a guess, but I would say this much. Brandon, I mean, he was a puppet. At that point, Brandon was he was too young to be in the game. He was 18, just turned 18.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, his mental capability just wasn't there. That's why, I mean, this is hard enough for a 30-year-old, 35-year-old, much less to have an 18-year-old.
I mean, you see guys breaking down all the time. I mean, look, if you watch Big Brother, if you watch Survivor, you see grown-ass men breaking down. So you have a child going out there that doesn't even have that much life experience, and then all of a sudden he's supposed to make these huge decisions and backstabbing people.
Yeah,
tough.
So it's tough, and I just think that Brandon went from that point where he played like a super Christian, and I think he just went to the place where we all go when we don't have anything left to what we know, and he kind of went back to that as being the last resource to just go to God, and that's where he went. You guys didn't see it through the editing, but when I got there, he was like, I've been praying with people, been leading people to Jesus. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm with somebody holy here and I'm a heathen. So, and I was giving him bad advice, but you can't unspill spilled milk.
So but he didn't take that advice. He still did the honorable thing and gave, in his mind at that moment, the honorable thing and gave his necklace, his safety to Albert.
Yeah, so he did that, and he got home, and it was literally a year before I was getting my act anywhere close together, and Brandon knew that I was basically mad at him for probably the whole year.
Do you think he regrets that decision now?
I think Brandon knows that he wasn't ready to play at that point, and then he went back out on the game the second time he played. Then he tried to overcompensate and act like, try to be Russell and be the mean tough guy, and that didn't work out for him either.
So he undercompensated and overcompensated.
Pretty much.
If he played again, he might work right there in the middle and win $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt that happens.
I don't know. I mean, he's different now. I think it's his new wife.
Yeah, he's married.
No, but it seems like she, not going to controls him, but he tries to do right with her.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I see.
Too much control. You can't. That's the problem. I mean, Brandon, I feel like he tries to control all of his women, and you have to live a life. If you want a good relationship, you have to live a life, and they have to live a life, and then y'all find common ground, and you live like that.
Yeah. So okay, we finished all that. You finished playing. Then what happens with the loved ones? Do they put you in their van? They take you back to the hotel? You pack and head out right there? Like how long did you before you flew out?
So they gave us a couple of days there, just kind of enjoy the moment. It was quite.
Was it rough those few days? Because then you knew what was going on in the game. You knew Brandon's head wasn't right. Was it rough for you those 2 days?
No, when I got on the plane, the last thing they told me is Brandon won the Idol, and he has got a chance to win the entire game. So I was super happy and thought, hey, we're going to win this thing.
When they talked to me, I talked to somebody. I forgot who I talked to. It might have been you. And then I was with Boo, actually, and I said, Brandon might be in control of this game. I was shocked.
Yeah, it was surprising. But I think realistically they just brought Brandon along because they knew he was missing in action.
He did good. I mean, he made it all the way to the end. How many people could say that?
Yeah, I mean, it was an emotional time the tears were real when I seen them. What people don't understand is when you see them physically, what you see on TV doesn't even hold a glimpse to their filthiness. And I can't imagine how Whitney could do that in the dirty.
Whitney did that in the dirty. That's right. We went right back to that. Yes, we did.
But anyway, they're filthy out there. They're the dirtiest you've ever seen anyone. Imagine that times 21.
Yeah. So now they 2 days of happiness.
Yeah, I had joy unspeakable.
Did they have anybody there in casting or production that was cute that you kind of was flirting with?
Oh no, I mean,
let me guess one name. Caitlin Moore.
I mean, they were all like really
know her?
super friendly. The cast and the crew, production, really super nice, and they would do things for me that nobody else got.
Like what? You got special privileges?
Yeah, I got my own room where they all had to sleep together.
That's the Kings, baby. Hantz King.
But anyway, I mean, it was fun. It was fun. It was an experience that I'll always look back to as I've never had a chance to go out. Samoa is a third world country. They were bringing us to places that, if you got hurt or sick or something like that, you weren't getting to a doctor. But on the same thing, they had in the front of their houses, they had their graves of their loved ones.
Yeah, that's weird. They have their loved ones buried in the front of the house. And the big old statues and everything else sitting right there. But I love the country. I mean, I am the king of Samoa. Did anybody say, "Where's the king?" and was bowing to you and stuff when you were there because they knew you were my brother?
Oh yeah, they had the producers. The
producers were bowing.
The producers came up to me and they're like, "We want to show you something. Come here."
Oh, they showed you. Yeah, you tell the
So
viewers.
they said, and we walked through all the woods. I mean, it's way, like 3 or 4 miles. It seems like we're walking forever. It's exclusive. And they bring me out to this tree and stuff, and they said, "This is the spot." I said, "What spot?" "This is the spot where your brother found the idol without a clue."
The very first idol found without a clue. That tree should be chopped down and brought here.
It was like a shrine to them. They couldn't believe it.
This is the spot.
So anyway, they showed me that spot.
Did he say, this was when the game changed forever?
And then
game changed? What?
They said, "I want you to just stick your hand in there and just feel around."
Did you? Did they say that?
So
you stuck your finger in there?
I just stuck my hand in that cavity, just felt around where my brother had his hand.
I went like up to the top, and it was up there a little bit. Yeah, I did. I go up.
Yeah.
And they showed a picture of me grabbing it, pulling it out. They showed a hand when you see that moment. That wasn't my hand, people. Because it took me a little while to get it down because it was tied. And I had to yank it, and I couldn't get it. Like the first couple of pulls, I didn't get it.
So and then they were telling me, some of the actual film crew were coming up to me, shaking my hand, like, "Damn, it's almost being like you're the king's brother."
Right. Yeah, king's brother.
So anyway, they were really, it was crazy. It was quite an experience. But anyway.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, that was our little episode on the loved ones visit and a little bit more about Whitney and Keith. And you still talk to Donnie?
Donnie's my boy. He'll always be my boy.
Donnie, we're going to tag Donnie in this. Let him hear this. Is he married by now?
Yeah, he's married now.
You found somebody better? Boy, that's what do you call that?
Karma.
Yeah, you can call it karma, but you call that getting out of something dangerous, at the right time, early in the marriage.
Yeah, so kudos to Donnie. If you're listening, Donnie Fogate, love you, bro. Call me later.
All right, congratulations to Brandon. He is now a married man. No more women chasing after Brandon. All right, guys, that's it. That's all for this episode, and this is Russell signing off, The Russell Hantz Show. Become a patron and get more content and bonus episodes, including video commentary of every episode of Survivor Samoa, weekly episodes of Whining with Wine, and you can become a patron for as low as $5. $5 gets you Russell's Alliance, $10 and you become a game changer, $25 and you're a legend. Go to patreon.com/Russell Hantz.